would like to take this opportunity to thank Deputy McGrath, Deputy Bernard Durkin, Deputy Peadar Tobin, Deputy Rada Cronin and Deputy Paul Murphy, who have done amazing work in raising awareness about the lack of justice for birth mothers and their children in the Dáil Chamber. You mentioned there about the Garda Sergeant, what he told you. Garda Superintendent. I did 20 interviews last year with 20 mothers, and then I got 20 ladies to do the voiceovers for a series called Justice for Birth Mothers. And it was our way of operating around the in-camera rule to give a voice to some of these mothers that felt brave enough to actually trust me and to speak about what was happening to them. And one of the things that came across speaking to the mothers is the guards using their powers to take children. One mother was going to pick her children up at school, and when she got to the school, her children were gone. She wasn't aware of the fact that there had been an ex parte court hearing earlier in the day, and the guards arrived at the school and took her children. One grandmother told me that her children were playing in the garden with their friends when the social workers arrived to take the children. The children were screaming, bawling, roaring, and they ran around the garden. And it was just horrendous and horrific what happened, and the kids screaming and roaring as they were put into the car and driven away by the social workers. Now, there's almost 6,000 children in care, and in the Alliance we do accept that there are cases of neglect where children need to be taken into care, but we represent the mothers who are desperate to get their children home, and that runs to several hundred mothers. And I suppose, as I said, there's 6,000 children in care, give or take, at the minute. But we never actually stop to think the process of how those children were actually taken into care. One mother telling us that her child ran around a block of apartments with the social workers running after her, and they eventually caught hold of her and bundled her into a car, and she was screaming and roaring. But to me, the most appalling and disgusting thing of all is the removal of newborn babies from mothers who have just given birth. The mother will have been told ahead of the birth that they're going to go for a care order as soon as the baby is born. The files in the hospital will be emblazoned on them, Tusla baby. This is even before the child is born or the baby is born. And, one mother described how she had to walk a mile to the courthouse 2 days after she gave birth, and she was actually breastfeeding her baby. She had to stand around all day in the court while the criminal cases were heard before her case was called in for a hearing. And Tusla was granted a care order, and she was told to have her baby ready for 2 o'clock the following day. And she went back up to the hospital, and her curtains were pulled back. She had to breastfeed in public, no privacy. And the following day she had to bathe and dress her baby and put it into a carry tot. So the security man came up onto the ward at 2 o'clock at the appointed time and brought her down to the back door of the hospital, where there was a car running with 2 social workers in it. And she had to place the carry tot in the back of the car, and the social workers drove off with the baby in the back of the car, and she was immediately discharged, and absolutely no supports. Now, you would not do that to an animal. I come from a farming background myself, and we know...
Sorry, no, Ms. Kavanagh, for cutting across you, but I'm conscious of time and others want to get in again.
Oh, sorry.
So it's just up to 5 minutes, but you certainly come back in again.
Yes, thank you.
You can just finish that little piece if you want
to.
Yes.
So, what I would say is that we have to actually look at how these children are taken into care. It's an abomination. It's like something that happened in history, but people have got to be aware that it's actually happening today.
Thank you, Ms. Cavan.